3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Living Color with Matt Woodward. This would be episode 10. I'm not really sure if I should call this episode 10 or sort of an update on, what's happened in the past 48 hours since I've recorded episode 9. I recorded that on Wednesday, May 27th, and I'm recording this, which would be slated to be episode 10 on Friday, May 29th. And in the past 48 hours since I've recorded, it's incredible to just see how much has changed and developed, and incredible is not even really the right word. It's, just a couple hours ago before I started recording this, the Minneapolis police officer who was kneeling or, basically strangling George Floyd to death on the viral video there that circulated across the internet and sparked protests really across the nation, obviously in Minneapolis where it occurred. But the police officer in that tragic incident there, Derek Chauvin, was arrested just a couple hours before I started recording this, and he was charged with murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter. And not only was he arrested just a couple hours ago before this, there was a new video that was just released that shows a different angle of the whole incident going down, and you could see two officers on the back of George Floyd. Really, this dipshit Chauvin guy, whatever the fuck this guy's name is, who cares really? I shouldn't even say his name. He's a disgrace to society, really, to act that way. You act like a animal. These two other bozos. One was on the middle of George's back, kneeling on his back, and then the other guy was on his legs. And this is all while George Floyd's handcuffed, under arrest, with this Chauvin guy on his neck, his knee on his neck for over 8 minutes on the video, and for over just about 2 minutes, over 2 minutes, where George Floyd's unresponsive and passing out, and not breathing, obviously, and it is terrible that it took 4 days after this whole incident occurred that to arrest this dude. He should have been arrested the day he was fired. He should have been fired that day. Then he should have been arrested that day and charged with murder. I don't know the rule of law. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but so I'm not really sure what the max sentence is of a third-degree murder charge, or and they're already saying, I guess there's the coroner's trying to say that the evidence from the autopsy suggests that he didn't die of strangulation. It was a multitude of causes, and that's just a load of bullshit. Really, I don't buy that at all. Dude clearly died with his knee on the his knee. This fucking dipshit's knee was on his neck. I don't really try to swear, but this has got me wicked fired up, and this obviously, it's got the whole nation really fired up. You really can't sit back and with this. Not that anybody should have before, but it is just it's been past time. This in what was it, 2015, 2016? There were some incidents like this happening almost regularly, it seemed, right? It seemed like every couple of weeks there was an incident of an unarmed black man just that even who knows what the circumstances might have been, or what they might have been accused of, or the crime they might have been accused of, And this one, in this case, I guess was a fraudulent check. And to go out like that for a fraudulent check is disgusting. And the fact that it took 4 days to arrest this dude shows a bigger problem. How the hell does it take that long? Would it take you that long if you did that to somebody? Especially I'm not even gonna suggest it, but if you did that to just any old person, like had your knee on them after like a street fight or something, and basically strangled them to death with your knee or whatever. I don't even know if that's I don't even know where you learn that move. That's not, they don't train you in the police academy to have your almost 2 knees on somebody's neck like that. And then just I like this. That's the sound and the audio of that it'll like haunt you forever, and it should. It's like that's something that you can. That's what I'm saying. You just cannot let this. You can't be silent when something like this happens. It is disgusting that it is still happening at the turn of the decade. There's a lot to. That's basically what this whole show is going to be about, because it's happening really everywhere across the country. Like I said, I'm recording this on Friday, May 29th, and there was some wild protests in New York City earlier. I saw some extremely emotional videos of just between like protesters and police, like just screaming at each other and trying to convince each other like what side they're on, and like you're on the wrong side, man. It was just, I can't even. And then in just about 20 miles from where I'm recording this right now at this time, there's protests happening in the middle of Denver, and they were, happening last night. There was a viral video of some girl or some woman trying to basically run over somebody who jumped on the hood of her car. But there was like a huge mob scene. I guess she was just trying to get through, to go wherever, just go on the main road, and like these, the protesters were blocking the main roads and the interstate on I-25 there on both sides, north and southbound apparently. I think it was near the Evans exit. Like just seeing that video of like, the guy did jump on the hood of her car, I think. Because I think the video starts where he's already kind of on top of the car, and then she speeds and he kind of jumps off. And then she swerves like she wants to basically run him over, and she essentially runs over his leg, because it kind of looks like he broke his leg or something, because it looked like his whole leg got trapped under like the car for a second, and he just kind of like, scooted out of it. But the protests have been the riots, really. I mean, most of them have been silent or in like peaceful, not silent, but peaceful, peaceful protests. But there's just so many weird videos coming out of Minneapolis where you're seeing like potentially like undercover cops who are busting out windows, and dressed in like all black and carrying around like a black, umbrella for maybe video surveillance, or all like cover head to toe. It's just like. And then people are like asking him, like, you're a cop, that's a cop right there. And then he's just like, basically like, fuck you, like, I'm not, what are you going to do? And he's just busting out like random business windows. And then you hear like the story of, that local sports bar, I think, where he was just starting up, and he's like a local firefighter. And he just started like a sports bar. It was just about to open, and it got completely looted. And it took like even like his personal savings, everything that he had pretty much. And there's like a GoFundMe page started for that. And then the video of the, whatever her name is there, the Jennifer girl, that psychotic lady. She's not even at first it seemed like she was an elderly woman, but she's actually like apparently like a 30-year-old lady who's just out here defending her local Target in Minneapolis and stabbing people in a wheelchair. Even though further video showed that night that she didn't really need a wheelchair, because she's out here walking around trying to slap people or stab them or something, and then just walking back perfectly fine and sitting back down and scooting off, It's like, what in the world is happening out here? Like, why the hell is she defending a Target? I mean, I know Minneapolis is like the home base of Target, but she felt the need to go, protect her Target and sit in the doorway and stab. She was only stabbing black people too. She wasn't stabbing white people, because in the video there was just white people scooting by her, and then see black person, and she started like lunging, and then everyone's screaming, she has a knife, It was And then the fire extinguisher. I don't even know how I haven't mentioned that because that's the key of the whole video. Someone blasted this chick with a fire extinguisher from probably me to you. Honestly, fucking blasted this chick with a fire extinguisher, and emptied the whole thing probably on her. And not even 5 to 10 feet from her. Not even 10 feet. There's no way it was 10 feet. So, and she deserved it because she's a piece of shit for whatever. I don't know what she was thinking. There's so much like to this whole situation, and really there is absolutely no defense of these cops. I can't defend these cops in any way, shape, or form. There could be a video of this dude robbing, the whole register and walking out with it. Yeah, I would have still said that's not right. But for fraudulent check, I mean, come on, man. I mean, you just see so many videos. There's so many videos. Obviously, there are varying scenarios, but there's just so many videos where you just see like a crazy white dude with like a weapon, a knife or a gun or something, and he's waving it, and even sometimes like coming after a cop and kind of like, jabbing him with like, and they're just backing away, like kind of like whoa, 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 no weapons out, they're just kind of like trying to. I don't even know. Like it's almost like they're not doing anything about it. I've seen, and it's not as if I've just seen one video of this shit happening. Over the years, you've seen it all the time. How many times? Like countless, right? I mean, and they're not blowing these people away with, guns or anything. And I'll tell you what's also scary, and it's also something that I like wrote down. Is that this stuff's happening now with cell phone cameras. Everybody has a cell phone essentially, and everybody has a camera essentially, and can be a journalist. And this isn't obviously new. This has been around for almost a decade now, right? And everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has a camera. Everybody can record anything, go live, go viral potentially with any video at any moment, right? And you just think this stuff is happening now with like cell phone videos and cell phones being available everywhere, and everybody has one. What was it like before cell phones? Like how prevalent was this happening? And not only that, like obviously, there's less evidence, less concrete evidence, so to say, because I don't know what more evidence these attorneys or whatever they need. You just hear them, they're like, well, we'll try to go through the judicial process. Like, yeah, dude, I just saw the fucking video of the guy dying, man. You saw the same thing too, right? Oh, and you're saying that, oh, wait, what were you saying? You're saying, that, like, there's, like, a whole process still? Okay, all right. Okay, you still haven't arrested him? That's another thing that really bothered me. And it happened earlier today. That's why, I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to go do anything today, but I really got too fired up. Or not too fired up, because I don't think you can be too fired up in this, but, I literally couldn't really think about anything else all day. Honestly, in the past couple of days, if I'm fed up, I can't imagine how everybody else, especially in affected communities, especially the black community and, just marginalized communities, I can't even imagine how they feel. And then you just to be, just shot down all the time, like, oh, well, rioting isn't the way. Looting isn't the way. Yeah, you should protest, but you can't protest here, and get out of the road, or you can't kneel during the national anthem, like this and that. And there's certain ways you can protest, right, that are acceptable, but they don't really make it. They're not making it inroads. They're not making a dent. There's no real social change, or no, there's just nothing there's nothing that comes from it, you know? It's almost just like it's just the brush under the rug, you know? Just keep brushing it under the rug. That's all it's ever been. And I feel like, and that's all it's ever been for like the past, 5 or 10 years when you're seeing these when these videos were coming out damn near bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, almost monthly, And then it just brings up the same conversation. And then you just see these people in like Michigan showing up to the state capitol, a month ago? Or however long ago with their weapon, with guns drawn on like holsters and just parading them around, chilling on the front steps, and they're just, sure, they're peaceful, right? How peaceful can you be chilling with this, automatic rifle or whatever, just a huge gun just sitting there on the Capitol steps? Yeah, that's real peaceful. I feel real peace chilling around you, chilling on the fucking Capitol steps with a weapon, right? And like that's acceptable, but no one can just, you can't block highways, And another thing, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not for like looting small businesses. Honestly, I'm gonna say that I'm not for looting small businesses and and locally owned businesses and people who've worked their whole lives to build something up, and that's all they've ever had, that's all they've ever known, that's all they have ever worked for. I'm not for tearing those people down. But when I see like a Target get looted, or when I see like potentially a Walmart get looted, I'm not calling for it. But when I see it, I'm not mad about it. And I don't think you should be either. And those are billion-dollar corporations, with insurance up the ass to cover them, to cover all damages done, right? To cover all employees probably in compensation, It's enough is enough with these people, I mean, obviously there's better ways to go about it than absolutely tearing apart every single business in sight and tearing apart a Target and stealing a flat screen TV or lamps or whatever the hell these people are stealing out of these Targets and running away with mannequins. I saw one dude running with the mannequin. Oh, there he goes. It's like, I don't know. I don't think it's right, but I don't think it's wrong. And there's that middle ground, and there's a middle ground. I don't even know if it's even a middle ground with it, Like I don't think a massive corporation like Target. Obviously, I think if every single Target across the country got looted, I think they lose a ton, and it's a concern, But one good Target loot, I don't think it's a bad thing, especially in this scenario, because you got to make a statement, and not to say that the best statement to make is looting a Target, because there's definitely better statements to make. Burning, I think the Minneapolis 3rd Precinct police station was a pretty good statement to make. That was like, holy shit, they're going in. This is not something, this is not every day. They burned the police station, But one thing I wanted to get back to, I got a little sidetracked with it, is that one thing that really pissed me off, and it happened this morning. That's why I felt like I had to go live, because I was just, mad all day, and not, I just bothered all day yesterday. Just I couldn't really stop thinking about it. Even this morning, I saw that the CNN crew, I believe his name is Omar Jimenez, the on-air field correspondent, and the producer, the CNN producer, and the camera operator, and I believe their security guard, because I believe it was a 4-person little crew. They were all arrested on live TV this morning on CNN. And I know the president, Trump, wants to be like, fake news, CNN, low ratings, or whatever, but, you can't dispute what happened on live TV. It was all live, because the cameraman kept rolling. He put down the camera while they were still live on TV. He filmed Omar Jimenez get arrested and then led away through the crowd. And or crowd, the state patrol looked like freaking SWAT team basically, and it would just looked it looked like a almost like a doomsday scene. All the buildings in the background, there's just smoke, and there's cars skirting real loud, and the cops are all jumping at every little noise, and it just, I can't even imagine, I can't imagine. And that's the thing. There are like good, it's not to say that there aren't good cops, because that's the whole thing. Oh, well, most cops are good, and yeah, they are for sure. But I think the key is, when good cops, don't call out bad cops, or don't stand for injustices, or like they, they're not standing up to the law, or their duty, serve and protect the community, I think, I think when that happens, like, you just can't. I don't even know what you say about it. Like, I don't think there's any defense of those cops. If they're not calling out bad cops, and they're just letting this shit go by, and like, just also letting it slide under the rug, just like everybody else who doesn't talk about it or bring it up or try to make a change on it. And that's a bigger question. What is the change on it? But if you're not trying to make a change on it, and you just let it slide under the rug as a cop, and just it's part of the, maybe that's just a one-time incident. No, that's not just one-time incident. Because you see with this Derek Chauvin dude, this scumbag cop, he had 18 prior incidents, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. Had 18 previous complaints against him. 18. That's 18. Am I saying that correctly? Am I enunciating that correctly? 18. That's so. How many is that too many? 15 too many, maybe? Right? Maybe like give him like 2 chances, and then by the third one, you're like, damn, dude, like maybe by the 10th one, right? You're like, suspend him. I mean, this was bound to happen, obviously. I just, I just, when I see a news crew get arrested, before the guy who committed the crime, there is a serious, serious problem. And I'm not sure, what was the reason that brought the arrest about, like what, it was already 4 days. Why wasn't the whole weekend? Was it the rioting was so bad across the country? It was so bad last night and the night before in Minneapolis, just burning the whole place down. And, in Denver last night, just, protesters everywhere, not even really rioting, because they're just protesting everywhere, blocking streets. I'm sure they're doing in major cities across the country. I just, you got to wonder what's the, how do we change this? And one of the ways, I think, is you got to enact on. I just don't understand how it takes 4 days for a dude to get arrested, and then you arrest a news crew who's just trying to do their job. And they even say it when they're live. They're like, just tell us where you want us to be. Just tell us where you want us to be. That's all. We just want to know where you want us to be. Just let us know. We'll go. And then they're just like, next thing you know, they're like, you're under arrest. It almost just seems like these cops are freaking out too. They don't know what to do. Like, they're scared for their lives, and you see it in like that New York City protest, like just there was a ton of people screaming at like this group of cops, and there was like, it was almost like a scramble and almost like a melee going on, because like people fighting and tackling and wrestling each other's cops versus protesters, and then they kind of form the circle around people who are being arrested. Then there's people just screaming at the cops, forming that circle, just calling them like pigs and scumbags and swearing. And it's like, I'm sure these cops, like, I don't even know how they can go home and sleep after a night, like after a day of work like that, and then they gotta go back to that tomorrow, and like they're trying to be a good cop, and they might believe, might not believe it's right. Obviously, I don't think anybody believes it's right. I can't imagine one single human being with even one brain cell in their fucking skull who would think that that's right. I can't even fathom the one person. If you're the one person who thinks that's right, just stop listening to this shit now, because I don't want you listening to this shit. For real. That's it. I don't want you listening to this if you believe that's right, that was justified. That's slaying. That's an execution. That's what that shit is. But you know what, man? I gotta tell you, it is just. I'm just like kind of discouraged. I'm feeling like a little discouraged with just everything. You know. Then you see the president of the United States, and I had to air quote it there because this tweet is unbelievable. What he tweeted last night, and like I said, I'm recording this on May 29th, Friday, May 29th. What he tweeted on May 28th, Thursday, May 28th, 10:53 p.m. on the East Coast, I'm assuming, which is like, why is he up at almost 11 o'clock at night? That dude's like 70-something. Like, he's still going. He'll tweet in the middle of the night. 11 o'clock's nothing for him. He'll tweet at like freaking 3 a.m. to somebody, you know? But, he tweeted. It actually got removed. The tweet got removed for violating Twitter's rules about glorifying violence. But they said, however, Twitter has determined that it may be in the public's interest for the tweet to remain accessible. But Trump tweeted, these thugs, he wrote thugs in capitalization. These thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd, and I won't let that happen. Joe spoke to Governor Tim Walz and told him that the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty and we will assume control. But when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Then he wrote, thank you, exclamation point. That last two sentences are telling me. You know what I mean? When the looting starts, the shooting starts. That's where I have a massive problem. And that's obviously why I think, why Twitter removed the tweet for glorifying violence. That's the president of the United States saying when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Basically, obviously inciting violence and, suggesting that, the military or, police or anybody, not anybody, but military or police should shoot rioters or protesters, for looting. Basically suggesting that property is, more important than human life. It's beyond embarrassing. It's disgusting. You kind of don't. I don't expect anything less from that bozo. He's been a clown and a bozo since he took office, and unfortunately, the Democrats are full of clowns and bozos too. And there's really no one to vote for in November. Even Joe Biden. Like, really? I think I've said it before. Like, that's their guy. That's who they chose. Like, that was the guy over Bernie Sanders, or just anybody else, anybody with a pulse and not half dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever the hell Joe Biden has. I don't think it's Alzheimer's, but I think it's some sort of dementia, like early stages or something. He's in the midst of it, and it's like they're just pushing him out there. Like, yeah, he's our guy. And that guy, he probably doesn't even know the name of the coronavirus still. I don't think he knew it for like the first month. Because when they were asking him, he's just like, the virus. He only was just calling it the virus. I don't think it's just, there's not a lot of hope. That's why I'm like, I just don't know what to think anymore. I you know how I always say, I've been trying to stay positive and happy, and I'm trying to write down my goals and this and that and stay focused and blah, 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 blah. But now it's like, I don't know what to think. 20 miles from where I'm recording this, shit's popping off. Damn near going to be a riot tonight. I'm recording this. It's about to be 7:45 on a Friday night. And it is about to go off, and the sun's still not down. And when they're saying when the sun goes down, that's when, it's going to be really popping, like last night. It's just, I don't know. Even yesterday, I think yesterday in Denver, it was more, I think at, Minneapolis that night was obviously where it was really going off. But Denver yesterday during the day was just really going off. It was just, even earlier today, it was peaceful protesting. But yeah, like I said, they're expecting demonstrators tonight, to return. So who knows? I just don't know what to think anymore, man. I really, really don't. I really don't. I'm out here just by myself too. Obviously I got people I work with, and I still have family and friends and all that, and a lady I rent from, but I don't know. I just don't know what to think anymore. Going through quarantine and then just kind of going now this, it's like it's not like a ticking time bomb, but it's almost like a stick of dynamite, where it's like the little wick or whatever is slowly, there it goes, it's slowly going, and at a certain point, it just the tea kettle overflows, and I think it's been past the boiling point for this, for racial issues and all of that. It's just like it's past the point. This shit should not be happening anymore. I really don't have anything else to talk about besides this, because there's nothing else that's even remotely as important as this. Like sports doesn't matter right now, obviously. Like that doesn't mean anything to anybody right now. Not when there's rioting going on and, unarmed, innocent, black men, minorities just being murdered on video camera for the whole world to see, and then for it to take 4 days for them to charge the dude and arrest him. You know what I mean? I don't know what to think anymore. Like, what else do they need what else do they need more than the video, right? I don't know. Yeah, like I said, there's not much really. This is all I can really talk about. This is all I can really think of. Like I said before, I wasn't really sure if I was gonna try to do a show today, because I wasn't sure how I was feeling. I didn't know what to feel. Last night was not even last night, yesterday and today, the past 48 hours, 72 hours have been such a chaotic. And I just feel like it's just like a bombardment of like, crazy videos here, and then like new information here, and then like it's just a corona, and then, like I don't even know what to, I really don't know what to, I don't know what to think or believe. I don't know what to think, believe, feel. All I can feel is anger, sadness that this shit still happens. I don't know. I don't know what to think or feel. I really don't. My heart goes out to everybody in, Minneapolis going through this right now. It's like a war zone out there. But mainly my heart goes out to really anyone affected, by any kind of, injustice like this, where it's not captured for the whole world to see, where, especially where police departments can, have their own investigation of things, right? An internal investigation, where they almost find the facts that they want at that point. But it's kind of hard to deny viral videos like that. Or, hell with the viral shit, right? It's hard to deny videos like that. That's all the proof you need. Like, what else? I don't know what else you need. It's tough. I can't even imagine being in Minneapolis. But Minneapolis could be anywhere in the world. And not only anywhere in the world, is many places in the U.S., right? Like I just said, that where the video isn't rolling, the camera's not rolling, and most of the times the cops might get away with this. They might say it's justified here or there, and they're still trying to do that with this shit too, right? Like, and that's one thing. That's another. There's so many. I think 2020 just seems like it's exposed so many crazy flaws and ineptitudes and complacencies and just, you know, almost dumbasses in power, right? At this point, like, you kind of realize, like, oh, that moron's, like, he's in power, he's my boss, like, okay, I can get there, you know? And I'm not saying that about any of my bosses, because I love all my bosses, you know? I'm fortunate, you know? I have had, like, you know, bad bosses in the past, but, you know, I'm thankful for the ones I have now, because honestly, if it, like I've said before, if it wasn't for where I'm at right now and what I have and who I'm with, like, I wouldn't know a damn soul. I wouldn't have a damn thing. I wouldn't have money coming in. I wouldn't have a job. You know, I wouldn't know what to do. And there's millions in unemployment, 36 to 40 million people right now. How many people are in the United States? 340, 350 million, right? Maybe 330, somewhere in that, 330 to 350. Obviously, 20 million is a huge range, but somewhere in that range, right? 330, 350 million. So 40 million people unemployed. More than 1 in 10 probably, right? Like, or I don't know what the numbers are. I'm trying to do it off the top of my head. And I'm tired. You see me over here rubbing my eyes because I working this morning, and then just kind of thinking about this all day yesterday and trouble sleeping last night, and then now today just seeing everything develop where he's getting arrested, and then the new video, and then the more Denver protests today, and then the New York City protests, and then the videos coming out of that protest, and then I don't know what to make of life anymore, especially as a single man. I've been single for forever now, it seems like. I feel like I've been single, I think, since like 2013, like mid-2013. So probably like probably like 7 years now. And that's not to say I might not, I might have been able to develop a relationship in that time span, but, it's tough right now. Like what's happening now with me? It's like nothing. There's nothing happening in my love life. That's for damn sure. I can't even tell you the last time, I got anything. Like, especially, romantically, I'm having a hard time right now even, getting a kiss, let alone getting anything, a date or getting anything else. Actually, I should say that backwards. I'm having a hard time getting a date, let alone a kiss or anything else. That's how I should have said that. But, no, yeah, I'm struggling. I'm sure most people are, if you're single out there, But, I think, like, when all this kind of happens, though, not to say it gives you a distraction, because these things shouldn't happen. This isn't a distraction. This is like public, execution for the world to see, right? For what? A petty crime, a fraudulent check, right? Couldn't one of these cops just give the dude like the money that was fraudulent or something? Somebody could have just given him like the money, probably, right? Like, and then these cops snuff out this dude's, George Floyd's life. It's just, yeah. How many times do I have to say it? Disgusting, disgraceful. Yeah, they're gonna have to sit in jail for years, no doubt about it. And when I say they, initially when I recorded episode 9 on Wednesday, I said, that one police officer, that dipshit Chauvin or whatever his name is, that should be his name, really. Shouldn't even say his name, like I said before. Shouldn't even give him that attention, because he doesn't deserve it. The guy's a disgusting piece of shit, obviously. But now when I say they, I mean the other two bozos who were on George Floyd while he was handcuffed, lying on his stomach on the pavement, in the road. Those two have to do some time too. I don't give a damn anymore. It's time. They couldn't have done something. What about the Asian dude too? What about the Asian cop who was just kind of, he was like, he could have done something. People are yelling at him to do something. Like, dude, you're just standing there, man. You're just standing there. And he was just standing there with his thumb up his ass, right? Yeah, man. It's gonna take a minute to get through this. I wrote down kind of like an end question: how can we change, and like what can we do? And I think it's easy to say I don't know, and that's obviously the answer is I don't know. But I do know. I think people do know. It's simple shit. When this stuff happens, when like a guy gets murdered on camera, that cop gets fired that day, gets arrested that day, and charged that day. It doesn't take 4 days. There's no debate, right? He gets arrested that day, and the investigation starts that day. That's a simple solution right there, right? If those cops are arrested that day and fired that day, the rioting, protesting probably doesn't happen, right? It might happen, but not to the extent where buildings are being absolutely destroyed and set on fire, and the police department set on fire. So that's a solution. I think another solution is having cops, patrol areas that they're from or that they know. You shouldn't put a rookie cop or a cop who doesn't have 5 or 10 years experience, in an area or a different state or a place that he's not really familiar with, or is not accustomed to, or doesn't have a connection to, because the local citizens don't feel the connection to him. They don't recognize him. They haven't seen him all their life. They haven't grown up with him. He's just some cop to them. There's no connect. There's a disconnect. And that frays a relationship, because the cop's trying to do his job, and that's how all these people see it. And yeah, he might try to be, but then he might, try to, use excessive force in a situation where he doesn't have to, but he might feel like he has to because he's out of his league, or he's out of the water. He's in deep water. He's in over his head. Him or her. But you haven't really seen any, women cops doing this, committing these crimes. It's these local jokers. These local white cops who think they're, judge, jury, and executioner. And they want to be. They've waited their whole lives for this power grab. And you know what? Like I said before, if you're, sure there are good cops out there, no doubt. Okay, but. If you're considered a good cop and you don't call out these bad cops, like this moron, whatever his name is, Chauvin or whatever, and the other 2 bozos that are on top of him there, you gotta, if you don't call that out, you're just as bad. You're right there with him. I wouldn't say you're just as bad as, killing the dude, but I think you're right there with him. It's almost like you're supporting that message. And even the ones protecting the dude's house, where it had the lines of the cops surrounding this guy's house, this cop's house, Chauvin's house, or whatever, right? Like, even at a certain point with that, you'd almost have to wonder, they're doing their job, no doubt. They're directed to protect the guy's house, but I wonder where the morality is in it all. Not very moral to me. It almost seems like they're just kind of. Almost like sheep at that point, just following along with orders, Yes, sir. No, sir. We'll do that. Okay, we'll go protect this murderer's house, even though he just killed a dude on camera, and, he hasn't been arrested yet. And he's inside probably right now. Yeah, sure, we'll go protect his house. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I think if you have cops patrolling, and being placed in areas that they're familiar with, or that they might have grown up in, or, in states that they've, grew up in, or anything like that, then I think that's important to have, instead of just these random cops from out of state that might be new or might not have any, experience or familiarity to that area or region, because, I don't know. And even like, the meet a cop days is not a bad idea either. Obviously people don't really want to go and in their free time and hang out with a cop at a donut shop or a coffee shop and just talk about nonsense and small talk. But you know what? It's not a bad idea, really. And I think there's more creative ways to do it than just meeting at a coffee shop or something. Maybe like a fundraiser or like a, something like a anything. Maybe not car wash with cops. But you know what I mean, right? Like, just anything else besides meeting at a coffee shop for a meet a cop day is a good idea. I think you got to repair the relationships. And it starts with having police communities that they're familiar with or that they grew up in. I think that's very important. Because it builds a relationship with that community, obviously. But that's kind of the thoughts I have. I hope things improve. I'm not sure if they will. I'm praying that they will. I'm thinking about potentially going live this weekend. I was going to try to go live with this one tonight. I know I've said that a few times now, but I'm trying to develop the live into this, but I'm trying to figure out a way to get the mic connected to either the camera or live or the computer and it's like a whole different process, but that's a whole different story and it's not as important. That's what's the main story, and that's the tragic passing and death the tragic murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota this week. God rest his soul. And I hope things improve. I hope things get better. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see. All we can do is hope, pray, be positive, be happy, spread love for one another, and be empathetic and try to understand where people are coming from and what shoes they might be in, because everybody's not going through what you might be going through, obviously. All right, but that is it, I think, for episode 10 here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like I said, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Hope you're happy, healthy, staying positive. For Living Color with Matt Woodward, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.